Ever wondered why people go on killing sprees?
Are you interested in exploring the paranormal?
Baffled by stories of previous lives?
Well, so are we.
In each episode, we'll be discussing the weird and wonderful stories of some truly confusing phenomenons and some horrific true crime cases.
Find us on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok and join us every Tuesday wherever you listen to your podcasts.
And be prepared to be totally and utterly perplexed.
For Mervis Diamond Importers, I'm Ronnie Mervis. Not far from the big mine in Kimberley, South Africa, where the first diamonds were found, lies a small dusty town on the isolated plains. In over 100 years, nothing much has ever happened there, except on Fridays, when the local diamond diggers hold their weekly rough diamond market. Once a week, the prospectors who still work the small independent claims gather to sell off the week's production. Buyers come from long distances because the quality of the stones is so exciting. The bidding for the rough diamonds is fierce. Buyers scream at each other in a frenzy to get the very best diamonds. My brother Kenny attends these sales. He makes sure that he's there early, and Mervis Diamonds gets some fantastic diamonds. Then we bring our diamonds directly to Washington. There are no middlemen. That's why Mervis Diamonds has unbeatable prices and a selection unmatched anywhere. Mervis Diamond Importers. Mervis means more diamonds, much better quality, and the most value. Financing is available. Go to mervisdiamonds.com to learn more. For an appointment, call 1-800-HER-LOVE. Nobody pays retail anymore. Why should you?
911, what's your emergency?
A&E Crime and Investigation.
This is a brutal crime.
Witness the shocking facts
Somebody out there knows something.
that chill you to your bones.
People did not worry about evil lurking around the corner.
Behind the crimes, the motives, the victims.
My responsibility to get justice for the family.
Uncover the truth.
Raise your right hand.
The journey to justice begins here. A&E Crime and Investigation. Discover more on the A&E app.
Hey, it's good to see you. How you holding up?
This diagnosis has been stressful. Finding out that I need a mastectomy, it's really hard to wrap my head around it. Hope it's not too personal to ask about your experience.
No topic is off limits. It's helpful to hear firsthand about what to expect, like the numbness, for example.
The numbness?
Yeah, even after reconstruction, your chest will probably be numb.
That sounds so scary.
It's a strange experience, and it's not something people really talk about, but it doesn't have to be forever. I had a nerve repair procedure called resensation as part of my reconstruction. Now I'm getting some feeling back. It's such a relief.
This is going at the top of my list of questions for my surgeon.
Your breast cancer journey is unique, and we want to help you explore your options. For more information on restoring sensation after mastectomy, visit resensation.com. That's resensation.com.
Down with the ship. I'm Jason Horton.
I'm Rebecca Lieb.
And this is Ghost Town.
On Ghost Town, we've done a handful of episodes about the Titanic, its story, its survivors, its culture, but there's one part of Titanic's story that doesn't get as much love. Its rescued, magnificent, strange-looking hull. Today, that changes. Called the Big Peace, the Titanic's hull went on a bit of an adventure all its own after that fateful day in 1912. Traveling the ocean and the world until it landed in good old Sin City. How did it get there? We'll tell you. Today on Ghost Town, the story of the hull of the Titanic, lovingly called the Big Peace. To refresh your memory, the RMS Titanic was a British ocean liner that voyaged from Southampton, England to New York City. Tragically, on April 15, 1912, as a result of striking an iceberg, among other safety and organizational errors, it sank into the ocean. Of the estimated 2,224 passengers and crew, approximately 1,500 people, as one of the deadliest sinkings of it, perished. single ship, the Titanic became a macabre and traumatic warning in history, fascinating millions with its story, a tragic snapshot of a very specific cultural moment in time. At 11:40 p.m. on April 15th, the starboard side of Titanic struck the iceberg, and hours later, the sinking increased as the deck dipped underwater and the sea poured in through open hatches and grates. When the ship's unsupported stern rose out of the water, the propellers were moving in mid-air, and that force broke the ship into two main pieces. When this occurred, large sections of the ship broke off of these two pieces, and eventually the whole ship, pieces and all, sank to the ocean floor. Many ships went out to explore the wreckage in the years after, and in the 1990s, a section of the Titanic's hull plating was found in the debris field between the two big pieces of the ship. It measured about 25 feet long and 25 feet wide, and weighed about 20 tons. Magnificent in and of itself, experts called this section the Big Piece, and it was specifically chosen to be brought to the surface to act as a centerpiece for a planned exhibition about the Titanic. The first attempt to retrieve the Big Piece happened in 1996, when the submersible Nautil attached flotation bags that would lift the artifact to the surface when released. During the 2 hours it took for the hull to ascend, 2 cruise ships gathered near the site and were allowed to watch as all of this happened, clapping with glee and excitement at this fairly historic moment. When the hull was at the surface, step 1 of the rescue was complete, but now the Nautilus was faced with a new issue. The Big Piece was at the surface, but the connector to the recovery ship wasn't strong enough to hold it or pull it in. Not only that, Hurricane Edward was moving fast in towards the scene, the swells of the hurricane putting strain on the overladen connector cables. Eventually, the lines snapped and the Big Piece quickly sank back down to the ocean floor. 2 years later, another group tried again. This time, the Big Piece was successfully recovered by RMS Titanic Incorporated, headed by George Tulloch and Paul-Henri Nargeolet in 1998. This mission, using similar mechanisms to bring the piece back up to the surface, was successful, attaching lines through and around the Big Piece and hauling it successfully to a recovery ship. For the first time in over 80 years, sunlight touched the hull of the RMS Titanic. But there wasn't a ton of time to celebrate. The Big Piece now had to remain under constant care to make sure that it was properly preserved. Once in the United States, the hull ended up being stored in Boston and broken into 2 parts due to some very valid concerns about its size during transportation and exhibition. The Big Piece was desalinated using sacrificial anodes, a metal and shipyard preservation method, and soaked in sodium carbonate for 18 months. During the soaking period, it traveled to venues in St. Paul and New York City. But after traveling for a while, the Big Piece was ready to find its forever home. It ended up on display at the Titanic, the Artifact exhibition at the Luxor in Las Vegas, which opened in 2008 and received over 22 million visitors. If any of these visitors are like me, gazing upon the Big Piece, a relic of its time, was likely profound, transporting the viewer for a few terrifying moments back to 1912 on a famous ship taken by a dark, vast sea.
Hi, I'm Adam Grant, host of the podcast Work Life. For over 20 years, Paylocity has been simplifying work with innovative solutions that teams love, like on-demand payment, which offers employees access to wages prior to payday, flexible time tracking features, which enable staff to clock in and out through their mobile device, and numerous other cutting-edge solutions that simplify collaboration across HR, finance, and IT. Learn more about how Paylocity can help streamline work and enhance business outcomes for your organization at paylocity.com/simplified.
Not all meals are created equal. For instance, breakfast has the spicy egg McMuffin for a limited time, and lunch doesn't. McDonald's breakfast comes first. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hey, it's good to see you. How you holding up?
This diagnosis has been stressful. Finding out that I need a mastectomy, it's really hard to wrap my head around it. Hope it's not too personal to ask about your experience.
No topic is off limits. It's helpful to hear firsthand about what to expect, like the numbness, for example.
The numbness?
Yeah, even after reconstruction, your chest will probably be numb.
That sounds so scary.
It's a strange experience, and it's not something people really talk about, but it doesn't have to be forever. I had a nerve repair procedure called resensation as part of my reconstruction. Now I'm getting some feeling back. It's such a relief.
This is going at the top of my list of questions for my surgeon.
Your breast cancer journey is unique, and we want to help you explore your options. For more information on restoring sensation after mastectomy, visit resensation.com. That's resensation.com.